Hi, I'm Josh Cunningham with the Wellington County OPP. I'm a bicycle cop here in the county. You get the luxury of riding a bicycle and getting paid to do it. Now, today I just want to talk to you about a few things when it comes to bike safety. One of the most paramount pieces of equipment for a bike and a bicycler of your age is wearing a helmet. And that would actually apply to anybody, but the law says anybody under 18 must wear a bicycle helmet if they're on a bike. If you're not, you or your parents could be held for a fine for something like that. Some of the other tips I'm going to give you about being on the bike is I like to call the ABCs. So before you get out on the bike, you want to check your air in your tires. There's your A. Your B, your brakes on your bike, and C, your crank or your chain. And you want to make sure those are all functioning. And so that before you get out there and have a big problem or issue, you want to make sure each one of those things is working properly. The nice thing about learning about bikes and how they work and how they are on the roads is that all those rules that apply to a cyclist also apply to a driver. So if you're in that age where you're about to be riding on the bike or the bike on the sidewalk, if you're about to take the bike from the sidewalk to the road, you're going to want to learn a lot about the rules of the road, such as stop signs and yield signs, pedestrian crossings, and things like hand signals. All these things apply to when you're 16, when you start to think about driving. Another safety element that you need on your bike as well is also an audible device, whether that be a bell or a horn. That's also required. These are just a few things to get us started here.
Do you need to have reflectors and lights?
If you're riding your bike at night, it does require that you have reflectors on the front, back, and the sides, as well as a light.
And how do you you mentioned about the wearing a helmet. How do you put on a proper helmet?
Well, first things first, you need to make sure you have a proper bicycle helmet. We see a lot of times where someone's using a hockey helmet or a lacrosse helmet. It doesn't quite work exactly the same way. Bike helmets are designed for bikes. A bike is operated in around about 20 kilometers per hour at top speed. And so the collisions that you would happen to have on a bicycle would require something a little different than a hockey helmet. One of the big parts of the bicycle helmet is making sure it's the proper size for you. You're a growing person, so as you grow, you'll likely need a different size helmet every couple of years. It's nice to have one that's adjustable to those dimensions. Some of them use foam inserts to make that adjustments for the size of the head. Also, it must have a strap that comes down below it, and that strap has to be done up. If you're not riding a bike without the strap done up, you might as well not be wearing it at all, because the rule says if you're wearing a helmet, or you must wear a helmet, it must be strapped up too.
If I'm on the sidewalk, can I text?
We recommend that you don't. Cycling could be hazardous if you're using your phone while doing it, just like driving. If you're operating your bike, you're operating it faster than most people be walking, and they won't be prepared for you. If you're on the phone, you run the risk of hitting something or coming out in front of traffic, or even dropping your phone and damaging that property.
As a bicycle officer, what kind of calls do you go on?
With bicycle patrol, we like to get out in the public. We like to engage the public, remind people of safe bicycling habits. Also, we get on the trails. We like to interact with people, and if they're in areas where there's risks such as waterways, we like to give them some water safety tips out there too.
This summer, was there anything really awesome that you did? Any kind of rescue or?
We have a lot of opportunities in the OPP to help the public out. One that stands out, I can't think of any right now that stand out, but there's hazards everywhere, and unfortunately we do more than our share of helping the public. So another thing I'd like to talk about too before I leave you is a little about property, making sure that you keep your property safe. When you do have a bike and you're out, if you ever have to leave it alone, make sure you try to lock it up or put it in a secure place, and that includes being at home. Don't leave it on the lawn, don't leave it where someone could take it. Put it in the garage or behind the house, or chain it to a piece of fence or something like that. With your bike, before you get out there, if you want to make sure that your bike is recovered if it is ever stolen or lost, take your phone or your parents' phone and take a photo of the bike, any unusualness of the bike, whether there's colors or streamers or something that's added on, and of course the serial number. And a lot of bikes with the serial number, will have the serial number down below the crank on the frame. This one's a little bit dirty, but you'll see different markings. Just check with the manufacturer and see where they put their serial numbers, and just take a photo of that and the bike. And if it does go missing or you can't find it, don't hesitate to call the police. Our Wellington County number is 1-888-310-1122. Call us and we'll keep an eye out for it. And we may have already recovered it, so don't lose hope. With this bike, this police bike, which is actually not a whole lot different than most bikes, we had this little fanny pack or this kickback pack on the back of it. A lot of people ask us what's in it. Well, there's not a whole lot to it. It just has some stuff that we use to maintain our bikes. So if we have a problem or a breakdown, so some of the things we might have in this is a small hand pump to pump or inflate the tires. With that, we'll also have more or another tire to pump or to tube to go in the tire. Sometimes we keep tickets, because sometimes once in a while I might have to give a parking ticket. I like to have a bottle of water, just make sure we're hydrated, and some first aid stuff. So if we do come across an injured cyclist or an injured person at all, we do have some means to help them. Thank you for your time.